Okie dokie. So we're trying to get Instagram to go live, and I just want to preview, and it's live. All right. Welcome. If you're joining us for the first time, welcome. We're going to be waiting for people to join. We're like a few minutes early, so we're going to be patient. And if you're online, you're wondering what we're doing, we're having a live conversation. I'm having a conversation with my client. So if you want to learn about home buying, please join us and invite someone to join us so you can learn one or two things about home buying. All right, few more minutes before I introduce you, Sam, so I don't go ahead of people that we've told that will be here at 1. Let me also use this opportunity to remind a few that we are live. So please come on board, we are live. All right. All right. Okay, this phone has to be silent, otherwise it's going to be ringing.
Trying to turn off heavy beat.
Yeah,
I'm sure one
turning
might.
anything that can distract. Okay, we have a few people here. Few more, 1 more minute, and it will be time. Okay.
All right.
All right. Okay. Okay. Few more seconds to go, and it will be just the perfect time. So, how are you feeling?
Doing well. Thank you for having me. Truly an honor. Yes.
Thank you for coming. All right, so if you're joining us, we're live, and of course, this is going to be recording in case you want to watch it later. I have with me one of my clients. His name is Sam. Sam, thank you for coming. Thank you for being part of this. Sam is one of my very good clients, and he just closed on his second home that he bought through me. The interesting thing is that this second home happened to be a little bit different. The experience was a little bit different from the first one because this second home happened to be his first time of buying a new construction, right, Sam? So we want to share with you, we want to hear from him about his experience, what it was like buying the traditional first one, which is your typical way of buying a pre-owned home, and his experience with buying a new construction, and also his experience with not having to sell the previous home he had and holding on to that and still able to buy the new construction. So I'm not going to say too much about you, Sam, so I'm not divulging. I'll let you do that. And just tell us a little bit about what you want us to know, you and the experience.
Yes. Like I said, it's an incredible honor to be here. My name is Sam. I'm just a normal guy. Um, Nigerian by birth, and very thankful to know mistake me over the years. I've been a good friend to the family and thankful for our professionalism and everything. Today, we're just going to share. This is just for inspirational, informational purpose, and that's all about it. So, yeah, I believe there are some questions already. We can go ahead and get started with those questions.
Yes. So the first question we had from one of the clients that asked was, can you share your perspective on navigating the new construction buying, home buying experience, or process rather? I'll take that again. Can you share your perspective on navigating the new construction buying process compared to traditional home buying process? So share that with us.
Definitely slightly different in a lot of ways. In terms of, I'll just tell you, in terms of timeline, you have a time, you know when this is going to happen. That can also uh, be encouraging. So, but it is different. Traditional home, you go in there, you look at it, you can say, no, please go away. I don't want this deal. I'm moving on. But with building process, there's time and it comes with a lot of anxiety. I have to say that. You have time, you're expecting something, and you already, sign on the contract. Everybody that's part of the deal is already aware, and the process keeps going. You check in with them week in, week out. It can take longer. So that's another difference. It can take extremely long, and it could come as soon as it can come as soon as possible, if that make any sense. So you have to factor all of those things in. Traditional home, you come in, you say you don't want, and you go. You find another one. You can have multiple deal on the table. But here you have one and you're just shooting for that one. You're just waiting until they give you yes or no.
All right. So a quick one. You mentioned that it's time based. So I know what you're saying, but just so that people on the other side understand what you're saying, for the traditional home buying, and by traditional, guys, we mean that your typical already existing home that you go to the market to buy, homes that are already built or somebody has owned before. That's what we're calling traditional home buying experience. So for you, Sam, the first time you bought, which was like how many years ago, if you don't mind?
It's 4 years ago now.
4 years
About
ago.
4 years
So
ago.
4 years ago, when you did that, the house was already in the market, right? And it took you like how many days to close?
I want to say less than 30 days.
Less than
I
30
believe it
days.
was less than 30 days. Yeah.
Yes, it was actually. And then, so for this new construction, help me. So someone out there will understand. It took you like how many days? Or should I say
It's no,
months?
yeah, it's definitely months. I would not disclose the the length. Is way too long.
All right.
And you have to factor a lot of things like lumber price going up. The builder have been aware of that. They have been mindful. There's a lot of things that come into it, but regardless of what it is, you always want your stuff coming sooner. But this one it takes a little longer than when you anticipated.
And were you able to sleep well at night within the
No,
period?
no, this is slightly different, like traditional one. I don't think we have that much time to describe the process of that initial one. Of course, I was a young man, single man that have made almost all the decisions by myself. But now there's a lot of things that have changed. There's a community that comes into it. A lot of people are not sleeping, including the realtor. So shout out to Temi Falano for staying awake prayerfully as well with us. Yeah.
All right, thank you for that. And guys, if you have questions, please send in your questions. We just want to share this so you have an idea of what people go through when they are buying their second home, compared to when they are buying the first, especially when you are buying a new construction. It's a different experience from when you buy a pre-owned home. So the next question we have here is, what were some key differences you encountered as a first-time home buyer in the new construction market? Because it was totally different. Yes or no?
Absolutely. Number one thing is it's a lengthy process. Like I mentioned earlier, a lengthy process that gives you excitement and anxiety. Um, in the new construction, you have limited bargaining opportunities. Like, for example, I live in a city whereby, there's houses in one part is really expensive and it's small and all of those things. You can go to that place and say, no, I've seen 5, 6, 7 houses. We don't want this area. I'm changing to a different location, which is about an hour away. And we went through that process, you and I, that we went an hour away at
Mm-hmm.
one point and we came closer. So with the new construction, you already know this is the deal that we're getting. That's it. So you
Mm.
don't have much of bargaining and choice. And the other thing is, which is an advantage to the new construction, is you have that builder's warranty, right?
Mm.
It comes with warranty. I believe it's 1 year. In some
Mm.
cases, it might be different for builders. But traditional one, um, you do your inspection, you get the deal done, and that's it. You're on your own from day
Mm.
one. That's what I see.
Good, good. Okay. So in terms of, did we get anything like incentives when you bought the previous one, and did you get incentives when you got the new construction? Because I didn't hear you mention that, but was there?
Yeah. That's an advantage to which is a very, I would say, condition advantage. I'll put it like that, a scary advantage. There was an incentive for us on the new one. Of course, there was some seller credits, a little bit on the other one. But the new one is a huge one. But I said conditionally earlier because it can be enticing and lead you into trouble. So it can keep you locked down. And if time permits, I can break that down to some extent. Uh, so the incentive was good. And in my own case, I shouldn't say in my own case because this is a group project, a community project. In our own case, we received a credit, but when you look at going with other lender, I'm coming into lender aspect as well. When you look at other lender, that you will not get credit for using other lender. When you look at the possibility of having a smooth process and a good return for your effort, quote and unquote, it'll be better to go with that lender. So the bottom line of all of those 1 or 2 minutes is do your research, talk to your realtor, and let them share whatever they can share as the law allows them. But credit is most likely going to be on the table for new build.
All right. So I'm not going to dwell on that. Guys, if you need more answers to that, please reach out to me. I will explain to you. We'll try not to put anybody in. So the next question that we have here is, what specific challenges did you encounter throughout the process? Let's leave it like that. And how did you address them? So what specific challenges did you encounter throughout the process, and how did you address them?
Yes. Uh, Excuse me. Number one, I'm sorry. I thought I turned off all my devices, but I didn't apparently. Number
Mm.
one is um, using Builder's Lender. That's number one challenge for me. For us, I would say. I don't know why I keep saying me. Um, Using Builder's Lender, how did we address that? It caused a lot of sleepless time, but we got through ultimately. Um, we got what we wanted, but not absolutely what we desire.
Mm.
We addressed that with series of communication. We ended up going with their lender and we suck it up. Um, the other challenge was for us was not looking out for our income and expenditure on other things that we were involved in. Like there's a lot of things that surrounds the loan process, including your income, including all of those things. For in this case, there were multiple LLCs involved. So the folks that we worked with, the lender, didn't really know how to handle all of those contingencies. So it was a problem for them, and it was definitely a problem for us. That's it. Another one is another challenge that I remember is no, looking at the papers 100%. Guys, look at the papers. It might be 120-page paper. Read it or find somebody to help you read it. Or if you're a tech person, you can use one of those um, audio reader or something. From the document, it was also in the document that you cannot back out of their lender at a certain period. We didn't check that, or we read it, or we didn't think it was necessary. So that was a big challenge. We're trying to back out and use another lender. It didn't go as we anticipated. So that's another challenge. Another one that I put at the back of my mind personally is interest rate lock. I was I was a big proponent of that. Like, oh yeah, let's lock the rate. Election year is elect 2024 or 2023 election conversation is going to be coming up towards the end. So there's a chance that things will go down, things will go up, and things started going down, and we were already locked into that rate, so we couldn't back out. So make sure you give yourself that flexibility. Personally, that's my personal opinion. If that opportunity was there, would have ended up having a better rate. Um, the other thing that I also, for sure, know was a challenge is not knowing a lot of terminologies. With new build, with these guys, with the lender, they had, some relatively new things to me personally. One of them was buy down opportunity. So you guys can follow Ariel Sotemi for more information about all of these things. Buy down opportunity. What that actually ultimately will do for you is you pay them certain amount and your interest rates, that you actually sign off. I will not explain it. Let me just leave it as that. We didn't know a lot of terms, including there was one I thought of last night that I was like, I wish I could Google it. But the bottom line is all these challenges, you can always ask questions. You can always ask your realtor. That's why it's good to have a realtor, like Realtor Timmy, very family friendly person. It's just good to have a relatable person as your realtor, and they can answer all these questions. So I answered the question, but most of our challenges were resolved by honestly relating with our realtor. That's just, and I'm not trying to sell Realtor Tammy here, but that's just the fact. She what she could do legally, morally, how she can step in, she stepped in, even to the point of helping us encourage us to look at our lender that we had used in the past. And April, I believe she came online in one of the previous session. April, amazing person, amazing lending group. Not recommending, not selling anybody. It's just our experience, like I said earlier.
All right, thank you. I'm going to touch on one or two things that you mentioned and guys, if you have more questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I'll gladly answer more your other questions. The rate lock, a quick one on that. So guys, Sam is saying that don't be too eager to lock rates. And I have some clients online here that have spoken to other lenders, and they've had lenders that would discuss with them, you know what, I'm looking out for you for a good rate, so that when we find that good rate, I will lock it in. Some lenders are very good at helping you find that. But you see, builders, lenders, truth is, are they looking out for you, or are they looking out for their clients, the builder? So that's where it's tricky to go with builders lender. Who are they looking out for? Who is looking out for you when the lender is in the picture? Whose lender is that lender? Yours or the seller's? And so if the lender is yours, trust me, some of my clients that are here understand what I'm saying when I say they are saying, but then you look at the incentives too, and these other lenders that will look out for you for the rates. So it's kind of, bittersweet experience. Those lenders can give you the incentives that the new construction lenders want to give you, like 20 grand, like, you get the refrigerator, you get some other things that come with it, you get the blinds, and this other lender won't be able to put all of those perks in. So you're like, okay, maybe I should go with the builder's lender, and then it's okay, I'll be fine with rates. But you have to weigh your options. That's where the trick is. Weigh it and see what works best for you and go with it. So that's on that one. And then the LLC one, guys, remember, if you were not online, go look at some of the old videos that we have. We brought in some CPAs to discuss with us how to keep our books, so that we are not at the very last minute now running around trying to. And Sam is right. Personally, I messed I messed up with that too. And if you watch those videos, you see some of those things that the CPA is mentioned. So I'm going to just stop there. I'm going to ask you one last question and then let you take the floor so you share whatever you're led to share with us. So that last question is, looking back, what insights would you have found most helpful during this journey?
Ooh, I'll say this. I laughed because I saw the question earlier and I was like, wow. One is early guidance from experienced buyers. Um, there's so much information. There's a lot of information out there when it comes to new build. When it comes to their lenders. When it comes to there's a lot of things. You'll find a lot of things, including lawsuits. Um, but having experienced buyer would be a game changer. Um, I remember during the process, and it was getting rough a little bit, and I just sat down and asked myself, who are the people that I can ask? Like, how was their experience? And personally, I was like, you know what, I can ask this person, and I asked the person, and the person told me something. I was like, I wish he'd shared that. I wish I'd asked him before on that, before the whole process started for us. And he happened to actually buy from the same people that we built with. So if I followed my instinct of asking people, I think would have been a nice. And of course, ask your realtor. Not just they are not giving you recommendation that will get them in trouble, but let them share what they think about new build or not. Um, of course, they are not saying one company is good or one company is not good, but hey, this is it, this is that. I think it would that having that early insight would be a great one. And also think a community too. Personally, I think a community of maybe your community, I would put it like that, because in some of these new builds, they have one or two people already on site. It'd be okay to knock on their door and ask them what your experience like, what's your situation? Because after all, they might still be your neighbor and friends anyway. Um, for example, let's say if you just move into a place and you need your blind or draper is done and somebody already have it, that could be a point of contact. But just ask them initially, like, hey, they are giving me a demo of this neighborhood. I see that you guys already moved in. What's up? What lender did you use? They'll be able to tell you everything without uh, being afraid that they'll get in trouble. So that's what I personally think. If we add that earlier, we'll be in a better place.
Thank you. And guys, please pardon us that Sam can't say too much. You should understand. We're trying not to get anybody in trouble or get ourselves in trouble. But I noted a few things that you said. One of which is advice from experienced buyers. And what he just said is why we're here. Because I know that I tell my clients and hopefully someone else that I want to be my client that you can do this, I've had people do this, but I want you to hear directly from someone that has done it before. So talking to someone that has closed, and if you have closed to and you are here, please share with your community, share with friends, let people know, be real with them what you went through. Another thing is realtor. See, on that note, we realtor would love to share so many things with you, but we cannot because it can be tagged as steering. There's a thing called steering in real estate, and that can mean that even though I have had repeatedly clients that have gone through something with maybe a group of builders or whatever, I cannot tell you not to go there. But I can point you in the direction of go read this online. Once you tell me that, look, I'm interested in this, before you sign and commit yourself to that builder, I can encourage you to go and ask questions. All of those things you're saying, I can point you in the right direction, but I will not be able to tell you, this is it, don't do that, right? So I'm glad you mentioned community. That's one of the things that we do, we recommend that you go into that community itself, ask people that have closed on the homes, what was your experience? And when my husband and I bought to, those were the things we did. We asked neighbors, what was your experience with this? How did you do this in your backyard? How, even after we closed. So thank you for sharing that. And if you're online and you're looking to buy, go into the community you want to buy, ask about safety in that community, ask about schools in that community. Please don't come and ask me about schools, it will put me in trouble. But there are websites you can go to, like Great Schools, to find out about schools. There are websites you can go to. You can even look at the state, the city, and look at security, so many things in that environment. So that way, you get better information even than what the realtor will tell you. So now the floor is yours. Please feel free to share with us anything else you want to share with us from your experience, and then I have one last question.
Okay, two things. I will to pretty much caveat on what you just said. I actually didn't know that Real Talk can share some things until we started working together on this recent process. And there's a lot of question, as you can imagine. It's a new build. There's multiple things involved, multiple um, organization. So she would know, she would be like, no, I can't answer that. I can't answer that. So be mindful of that. If you're like me, that you ask any questions, every question, don't see your realtor as a bad person if they say legally I can't answer this. So I think it's just us, it's just part of protection for everybody. The second thing that I would say is get your books right. That's really, really, really important. For me, I personally, my personal account, my personal check-in and all of those things is for everybody. Everyone sends Zelle to it. Like, please help me send money to this person. I'm like the middleman for everything. And that got me in trouble. Not trouble, but when they look at me personally, they're like, who is this guy? What are you up to? And all of those things. So a lot of questions came up. On the LLC side, there were, multiple LLCs involved in the process. What does each of them have? What's their stake? And all of those things. So it gets messy pretty fast because there were a lot of things. And you have to look at it. They are looking out for themselves as well. And to some extent, they are looking out for you. Make sure you're not a liability and you're not bringing problems to yourself. So get your books right. It's tax season for those that are in the US. Please and please, maybe use this year to start doing, improving on that. I am using this year to improve on my bookkeeping. So maybe you're going to be like me, get your books right. And the last thing that I want to also share, which is what Ms. Demi mentioned at the beginning of the live stream, was a lot of people don't know they can have their current property and still look out for
Yeah.
another one. There's a lot of information around that. You can have it. For us, we don't know what we will do with that one. Most likely, would do what most people do with it, anyways. Um, but you can do it as long as you have your books right. It start with your books. Honestly, if you cannot prove that you had a renter in that one, or you've had a renter, or whatever story, whatever the real life situation is. So, for example, if you want to put a renter in that place and you already have a lease rental, or someone agreed to the lease, get that lease ready. If they've paid you security deposit, make sure that's reflecting on your account. Just tie everything. Make sure everything is legit, everything is describable, quote and unquote. You're not all over the place like I was, and I almost affected our group. So please and please just keep those in mind. And she also mentioned VA. We use VA as well. And that sounds interestingly good for those that are eligible for that, but it can also be a little bit stressful. Some lenders are running away from it. Um, some lenders, that's their bread and butter. They are ready to go on that. I know we're coming up against time, so I'll be fast so you can ask your question now. And the people that we worked with, eventually, I think it was a problem for them. And we got another lender that was like, yes, ready to go, easy stuff, let's do it. So you have to keep all of those things in mind. And there's still some fee that you have to pay if you are not eligible. If there's eligibility for every service member, there's also some things that will make you not pay some fees. So just do your research, work with your lender, work with the entire team on the process. So
Thank you. I'm glad you mentioned the VA. I'll piggyback on that. Let me piggyback on that one. Now, if you are VA or you have someone that is VA, please use that. There are so many benefits to that can help you in home buying process. Like you said, and some lenders shy away from it. If you have a lender that is shying away from it, come to me. We know lenders that can help you with VA transactions. That's one. If you're a nurse, if you're a doctor, we have loans that you can have benefits, physician loans that you can benefit, that will help you reduce the cost of your closing costs and some other things. Another thing I want to mention is you said something about how you can keep your old home and still buy the new one. Thank you for mentioning that. So guys, if you have an existing home or you have a house that you had bought with someone and you're thinking, I need to sell, must I sell? There are ways you can do that and the lender can work with you. Most importantly, get your finances right from the get-go. Like he said, once you're doing any kind of payments that you make, right things that you payments that you make, bills that you pay, write them down so that you can have all of that for your accountant or even to show the lender when they ask. Other things is, and that you mentioned, another thing you mentioned is don't use your account for making unnecessary payments, transferring money, Zelle from friends and all of that. Be careful what comes into your account. Be careful what goes out of your account. Cash App, Zelle, be careful. Lenders are wondering, do you owe someone money? Are people paying you for certain things? Why are they paying you? Why are you paying them? All of those things can be red flag for a lender and they can walk away from your transaction. So be careful. So my final question, because we have just 1 minute, given your experience, what valuable advice do you have for a first-time home buyer?
first time home buyer, definitely don't rush into it. The best time to buy is not when interest rate is low. I think is when you are ready. When we say ready, get all your paperwork ready. Work with a realtor. I know some people don't. Some people still try to find a way around that. The money that a realtor will get is tiny, but the value they will bring to you, the guidance they will bring to you, is X times of whatever the realtor will get, and that's probably not even coming from you. So work with a realtor. First time home buyer, I think, I think those two are key.
So for a first-time new construction buyer, what would be your advice in
Oof.
close with that?
The same, but I will add a couple more, which is be thorough, be curious to ask all the questions because once they hand you over the key, you have the warranty, but you might move in and the next day water start dripping from your ceiling or anything like that, right? You know, get ready, get your finance ready. Look out when you go for inspection. Listen, get an external inspector. It will cost you money, but an external inspector is coming from a different point of view. The builder's inspector, they can unintentionally just blaze through things. Also take care of yourself too. Take care of yourself mentally, physically, and I would say the spiritually too. I'm a Christian. I like the Christian value, but it has worked for me. There are some things that are just now physical, some things are literally spiritual. So, but take care of yourself because they will frustrate you. Honestly, you will expect things in November and it will show up in June. And it's not their fault. It could be a lot of things, including lumber, including weather. There are times that there was snow and all of those things. So we will not waste everybody's time. If you have any question, please reach out to Mrs. Tammy. She's going to get you squared away.
Thank you. Thank you guys for joining. Thank you, Sam, for sharing your experience. I am so honored. Thank you. And I hope I was able to serve you well as a realtor. I didn't want to put you on the spot for that. But did
If
I
there's
do right?
any, there's
Did I
any,
try?
if there's any 6 star, I will give you 6.5. You know, the traditional 5 star will give you 6.5. But no,
Thank
no
you.
complaints at all. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you everyone for joining. And we have to go now. We're like past by a minute. Thanks, Sam. Bye everyone.
Bye.